Well, welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. Now, listen, about a year and a half ago, I did a video that said, so you want to be a knife reviewer. And it was just kind of a riding with Scab and rambling and that type of thing. And I did my normal. Over the past, month, I've been asked 4 different times if I had any advice for starting a channel, or if, somebody said, hey, I'm thinking of starting a channel, what would you do? And I thought I would give you some insight after 4 years, almost 4 years of doing it, which isn't a long time, so I'm not bitter or jaded, but I thought I've got a couple things that may help you out. So we're going to talk about it, and if I was going to restart one, here's some things I would think about. Now, I do have a knife review coming out every day this week. I went to Kurt's yesterday to the studio and we knocked out 4. I'm going in just a few minutes. We're going to knock out a few more and try to fill up this week. That'll take some pressure off and I'll feel better. Here's the deal, guys. This is, before we jump into one part, let me cover this. Caps and Electro made this for the first annual Choir Boys Outdoors knife making contest. Now, I did a hard use review on this knife and it will be going back to Cap pretty soon. This is kind of a French trader style. The thing is this. Captain Electro actually put out his own knife making challenge, which I found fascinating and I want to support it. So in the description, I'm going to link Cap's video. And basically what he's saying is if you are a knife maker or you've made a knife, then simply make a video, use it every day. I think he said for a month. I'm going to post his video so I don't misquote, but use that knife every day for a month, actual use, and post it here and there. You don't have to have a YouTube channel, but at this point, we all have some sort of social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, whatever. I will put a link below, and it's just kind of a friendly thing. Hey, use what you make. I think it's important, and I think everybody that's made a knife should and want to do it. And it's not, there's no right, there's no wrong. But Cap, that's a great idea. I'm going to put it in the links below. In the description below will be Captain Electro's video. First thing. Second thing, I want to address this. This is the Dark Sword Armory Arming Dagger. I just did a review on it, I believe Friday. And I want to qualify something. I talked about the sharpness in this. This was sent to me for review by Matthew Jensen. He did his own review of it, and he asked me to take a look. I did the review. Even though we're not really set up for this style and this kind of weapons, I enjoyed it. I had a blast. But I talked at length about this not being sharpened. Now, a couple of different folks, Tempest Blades, love his channel. Dude's an awesome cutter. Check him out for sure. Matthew Jensen himself and a couple more. Even Kirk was like, Scab, the sharpness can kind of be explained away because it's a dagger. It was meant to go through the eye slit or a place in the armor, something like that. This is a finishing type weapon, finishing someone off or in the throat. I get that, okay? I understand that totally. And I would be willing to excuse that if it was not on their website that you could use this for more than that. This was billed as what they stopped short of an EDC, right? The other thing is this. If you are going to charge, I don't give a shit what the amount is, but if you are going to charge $25 extra for sharpening, it should be sharp. That's it, point blank. I'm glad they brought it up. And again, Tempest Blades, dude is really a good cutter. I love his channel. Matthew Jensen, and then check out a lot of cutters. Carl Ruger, Eric Hussein come to mind. There's a lot of you guys out there, Space Ghost, the Ronin, a lot of great cutters out there. Check them out, but Tempest Blades especially. And brother, thank you for bringing that up, because it made me go back and look, and I thought, wait a minute, they put it on the website. That was the issue there. And it's like a non-deal with me, but I did want you to understand why I approached it the way I did. Now, do I have any advice? Yes, and this isn't going to be a long video. My first piece of advice to you, if you want to review knives, is this. You have to ask yourself, do you really want to do it? You say, Scab, that goes without saying. No, it doesn't. You don't know how many guys and gals I see jump into this and get about a month in and they're like, screw this, I don't want to do it anymore. Do you really want to do it? There are days, I'll be honest with you, because guys, at the end of the day, this is a hobby for me, point blank period. Yes, I put a lot of time into it, but that is my personality. And we'll talk about that in a minute. That's the first question. Do you really want to do it? Ask yourself that. And then if you really do, man, that's the first one. Then why do you want to do it? If you want to do it just to show knives, have fun, and review stuff, cool, man, jump into it. I would caution you, though, on two things. If you want to do this simply to make money or get free knives, don't even start up. There's no need, because you're going to be disappointed, okay? Your channel's only going to do as good as you put the work in. That's it. Now, that probably didn't come out right. But your channel hinges on you. If something fails, you're responsible for it, okay? So if you're not willing to put in the work and do what you need to do, nobody's going to come beat down and break down your door with money or free knives. It's not going to happen. And I have found with YouTube, in my own experience, people are going to be a little skeptical of you until you put in the time, right? You don't have to be the best in the world. You don't. That can be a goal. You're going to be nervous up front. There's going to be certain challenges up front that you haven't thought about. You don't need a studio. You don't need $1 million in camera equipment. You don't need any of that. You need a phone, a YouTube account. Here's the biggest thing, okay? So do you want to do it, and then why? And I think what you'll find is your why changes as you go, right? It may just be to show your collection up front. It may be to show your skill set. It may be to try to teach. Whatever your idea is, why you want to do it, I think you'll see it. I know my idea changed. I did it to kill time. I'm not lying. I'm not kidding. That's not, I literally, guys, for the vast majority of my adult life, I've worked 2 jobs. So when I come into this, I had a bunch of knives. Yes, I'm an addict, okay? And it stems, that persona, that curse, that whatever, extends itself to every aspect of my life. So I worked 2 jobs, and yes, I fought addiction, and yes, I had some really dark times. Through all that, knives, in a weird way, kind of helped me there, because I was always fascinated with sharp things and stabby things, not from an evil mindset, but I was always kind of intrigued by them. The why, the how do they work? Can I make them work? And I think somewhere in my brain, that kept me, as crazy as it's going to sound, man, it kept me somewhat balanced. And you say, Scab, that don't make sense. It won't make sense to you unless you've been there. Like I had something. When I came out of the addictive to drugs thing, I had to have something to occupy my time. What people don't understand about addiction is this. When you're on pills or meth or whatever, you've got to have more. So a big part of addiction is the running and is the hustle. So when you stop drugs, that's great and it's awesome, but there's still that gap of the running and the hustle. And what YouTube was for me up front was a way to pour my energy into it so that I'm not sitting around. I've never in my life been a guy who's just sat on the couch and watched TV. So it gave me something to do, right? But as this went, the why changed. I wanted to get better. I wanted to grow a skill set. Then I wanted to bring as many good knives to you as I could. And then I wanted to really, and I'll just be honest with you, one of my goals is to grow this channel. I've never shied away from that. My goal here has never been to get free knives. It really hasn't. My goal here has never been to make a lot of money. It really hasn't. The only goal I have, like money-wise, is to kind of make sure that it evens out, right? Over the past month, I've probably spent $400 to $500 in shipping. I have a job. I enjoy my job. I fund my channel for the most part. Yes, I have a YouTube members, and yes, I have a Patreon. And I try to at least do 2 videos per month with that. But I don't advertise it, right? I just don't. I should, I don't. I've always had this feeling there's certain things with me that I need to get over, but a lot of mine's ego. You don't ever hear me asking people to subscribe or hit like or any of that. And those are things that I probably should do. And you've got to factor that into your decisions. Are you going to have that stuff? You'll hear this a lot, and you'll see this in the comments of this video. Well, I just do it to have fun and a hobby. Yeah, so do I. Okay. There's varying degrees, right? I don't have small children. My son is grown, and he lives over in Alabama. It's me and Megatron, and we have a happy home balance. And I asked Megan, what are some things people need to think about? Megan said it's time. There's a lot of time in this if you let it. And people say, well, I'll just do it as a hobby. Okay. I'm talking, and let me quantify this. What I'm saying to you is when people ask me what I think about starting a channel or any advice, it takes time. Nobody does this to just because they want to play with knives. I don't give a shit what anybody says. If that's the case, you can make videos playing with knives and never post them. So and I'm not saying that negatively. I'm just saying most people want to see how well they can do, or even if it's a hobby, I just want to share my hobby. I want to share my passion. That may be the better way to state this. I want to share this with you, right? That can be a drive and that can be a goal. And man, that's great. That is awesome. Time is a big thing. You're going to have ebbs and flows. There's going to be great times where everybody's like, dude, hell yeah. And then there's going to be times where you're slamming your head in the table because you're not getting views. Even regardless of the reasons you do it for, it ebbs and it flows. You're going to have haters. You just are. If you're doing it right, you're going to have haters. The more you grow, let me pause here and tell you my true feelings on that. I don't care. I don't lose a minute's sleep over it. I never have. I never will. You say, Scab, you're always making videos. It's content. I know we do the whole Southern thing because I'm Southern born and Southern bred, and when I die, by God, I'll be Southern dead. That's the way I am. But please don't ever misunderstand that or mistake that for not having a plan on here and for not knowing what I'm doing, okay? Content is content is content. So if you are thin-skinned, don't post. Just don't. Because you can do everything, and I'll tell you why I'm saying this. I watch all corners of YouTube. I watched a channel today, I think they had around 5 million subscribers, something like that. Most of the comments is negative. And they're awesome at what they do. It's just people hating to hate. So understand you're going to encounter that. How are you going to react? People always tell me, Scab, don't worry about it. And here's part of my thing too. One, it gives me content. Two is this. I am very interactive. I always have been. There was a time I responded to every single comment. It's not feasible right now. I get 5,000 comments a month. I do my best. And I want to try to do that because I enjoy doing this and I enjoy the engagement. But when you're that heavily vested, and this is something people don't think about, if you're going to be that heavily vested, and this is something you should think about when you start a channel, are you going to run it like a brand, like a business, no matter, straightforward, this is what we're going to do? Are you going to run it like a vlog? And that's kind of what I do, my day-to-day. I say this as a hobby and I say it truthfully, but I also know that I have not missed a day posting since August 18th, 2022. It might be shorts. These are some things you have to think about. You don't have to have some written down, nailed down plan. Be careful of doing that too. Yes, plan it out to a degree, but don't be so locked in on getting a plan that you never start, right? You'll hear people say, well, I'm happy with my couple hundred subscribers. Man, that's great. That's great. I enjoy the process, right? I love knives. I've got 2 sitting right there we're fixing to go do. Big shout out to Jesse, who watches the channel. He sent me this today. I adore this. And when I'm going to go do them videos and I'm going to come back and make some shorts with this. It's the Wild West Bowie. I love this. I love knives. I think what happens is this. I don't think I know. As long as you're under a certain amount of subscribers, everybody loves you. Well, everybody, it's different, right? Like when you're under a certain number of subscribers, you're one of the guys, you're one of the gang, you're the common man. It's like when you start to grow, people think you're some kind of corporate plant. They stop looking at how much you posted, how much work, how much heart, how much soul, how much all of that. So you got to understand that. Not everybody's going to be with you. There are certain channels who will ride and die with you and support you, and I think you know who they are. There are certain channels that will always take shots. They just will. They can be backhanded, they can be slight, they think you don't know. The truth is this, man. I don't worry about any of it. At this point, I really don't. I have a goal in mind. We are headed to the goal. You have to ask yourself, what are my goals? Even if it's just sharing your passion. There's nothing in this world wrong with that. Nothing. Nothing. I think where people get wore out with people saying, I'll just share my passion. There are those who will spend countless hours on YouTube getting pissed off and mad and rants about nobody watches the shit. Well, you either do it because you love it or you don't, or you do it for business. Nothing wrong with either one. Nothing. But don't sit here and tell me you do it because I just do it because I love it. I just do it and then bitch about nobody watching. It's okay to want to grow. It's okay to want to make money. It's okay to want to do it for free knives. But my point to you is this. There are levels to it and there is a certain amount of work to it. And if you're going to have that mindset going in, more likely than not, you're going to be disappointed. Jump into it. Show what you have. And this is my final point, and I'll wrap it up. You have to decide, do you want to go from, what you name it is important. It really is. You don't want to lock yourself in like Donnie. Donnie did Donnie B all day. He can literally do any content under the sun. He really can. And it's fine. And my point to you is this. If you're like, Scab, I want to do what you do. I want to show all kind of knives. I don't care. Then don't name yourselves Tim's Tiny Knives. Irony does not work on YouTube. Sarcasm does not translate on YouTube. Nobody will get the joke, okay? You'll find yourself more often than not trying to defend your choice, right? Don't have your dog's water bowl right by the damn camera when you want to make a video because that's the only time she drinks water. Thank you, Lola. She don't care. My point to you is this. If you really want to do this because you want to share your passion, man, jump into it. I'll support you. There's a channel, he's got one video out. Stein's Burst Knives, right? He's got a plan for what he wants to do, and he's going after it, and I'm proud of him. I think that's great. I'm not the guy who's going to poo-poo all over everything. That's just not me, right? Make sure you name it something that incorporates everything. I've changed my name a couple times, and probably in 2025, we're just going to go to Choir Boys, but for right now, we're Choir Boys Outdoors, right? I started off as Choir Boys Cutlery, and then we went to Outdoors so we could expand. And in all of this, the longer I do it, I'm just thinking one name will be fine. And if I could give any advice to you on that, think in those terms. Unless you want to do just tiny knives, and that's fine, right? Do that. Last thing is this. Have fun. Have fun. Have fun. I don't give a shit if you got a corporate sponsor behind you and you're going to make $1 million a year from the giddy up. If you ain't having fun, ain't nobody watching. No matter what you do, no matter how you do it, people know your level of sincerity. People say, I've heard that I'm hokey and cheesy, and okay, that's fine. Have passion, have fun, and enjoy it. Because if you don't enjoy it, if you don't have passion for it, don't ever turn the damn camera on, because people will see straight through it, and they may watch you once, they may watch you twice, they ain't coming back for thirds. Be real, be authentic, have fun, love what you do. That's all I got for you. I hope it helps. We may do something a little more specific down the road, but listen, I'm Scab. You're not. Love y'all, man. Really do. To all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Man, listen, if your mom's going on, I am so sorry. We love you, and I hope you've had a good day. Let me finish with this like we always finish. There was a time in this country where 22 vets a day took their own lives. Stats are everywhere. It's a holiday, so it's higher. The real number's between 15 and 29. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Bets, we love you. You have a place here. I backed the blue. My kid's a cop, but long before he was, I did. The whole back the blue before it happens to you, well, it's happened to me more than it'll happen to you. I have my causes for reasons that I have explained multiple times, and I can't do it every video. Just know this, they're my causes, and I don't shove them down your throat or expect you to endorse them. They're just things I believe in. Finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting, and that one's very important to me. Well, happy Sunday. Let's go work on some knives. Listen, if you start a channel or you're going to, put it in the comments below. Any specific questions you have, put them below and I'll try to answer them. I love y'all. I'm gone, son.